I'm making this video because I found something that's amazing on the flat Earth. I went to Wikipedia and I found this thing called denialism, and which it says denialism is a person's choice to deny reality as a way to avoid a psychologically uncomfortable truth. And you would think, well, all Earthers, they're in denialism because they want to deny the reality that the Earth is flat and believe the lies that it's spherical. But they actually turn it around and they're like, denialism it goes against scientific consensus. Like the person doesn't believe the scientific reports on certain matters, as the Earth being a sphere. So then they'd say, well, these are the forms. There's Holocaust denialism, there's AIDS denialism, climate change denialism. But when you actually go right here, the first one they actually want to talk about is flat Earth, and I think this is amazing. This was just on June 2016. This is how popular flat Earth has become. And it's there, it says, the superseded belief that the Earth is flat, in denial of all the overwhelming evidence that supports an oblate spheroid globe that rotates around its axis and revolves around the sun, persists into the 21st century. Modern proponents of flat Earth cosmology or flat earthers refuse to accept any kind of contrary evidence, dismissing all space flights and space as hoaxes. Private citizens are conspiring to hide the truth. There are no satellites. It's a grand cover-up. Antarctica is not a continent. And revealing that the curvature of the Earth has been manipulated by CGI or somehow fixed. And I'm just, I don't know. I think this is, I don't see this as a negative thing. I see this as a positive thing. Actually, they're still trying to fight a flat Earth movement, but I don't know. I think this just gives us some headline, puts us out there, like, oh, what are these crazy people talking about? But I mean, it's amazing. One other thing that I have to say, I've always said I'm not a Christian person. I don't like to belong to a belief system. I don't think flat Earth is a belief system or anything, as in like it's not a religious movement. Some people trying to make it to be, but this is one other. This is institution that I do not like. I am majoring in psychology, and this right here, this is one of the. This is a pseudoscience. You mention this to people who study psychology, they get mad about that. They get that. I usually meet someone who does take psychology, and I'm like, oh, have you figured out that it's just pseudoscience? Like, it comes from phrenology, where people used to touch your head and see the bumps in your head, and they'll tell you your behavior, your characteristics by the bumps on your head. Pure dumbness, pure pseudoscience. And then it turns to this thing called psychology, and they're trying to study humans and how they react, and then they give you terms, and they got the DMV, that it's a book and it diagnoses mental illnesses, because if you have this going on, then you have this mental disease. It's all rubbish. It's all fake. They pass it off as science. I think human beings are too complex to understand. And put into a group. And this is what psychology does. Psychology is an evil. The government can come at any time, take you to court for whatever, and they'll always bring in a psychologist, and the psychologist will say something like, oh yes, this person exhibits this type of behavior, crazy. Everything if you question anything that goes against the status quo, they'll bring in somebody and you're taken to like court. They'll bring in this person, and since you're challenging the status quo, the government created this thing, and it has people working for them, psychologists, and they just say you're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy right here. This is an evil, and this is pseudoscience. And this is funny because they come here, they go to the flat Earth, and they say, "Oh no, you guys do pseudoscience." When all along, it's the bully, the government. They're the ones that practice pseudoscience. And then when the truth comes out, and you start telling the truth, and you're like, no, wait, we've done our experiments. We used our the scientific method, and this is what truth is. And the government's like, no, you guys, this is pseudoscience. But yet, and they're the ones, we pay them money, as in terms to NASA, and they're like, oh yeah, look, we got this picture. And then we're like, okay, we're supposed to believe it. And I don't care who you are, if you look at those pictures and you say that that is real, then you are the one that's crazy. It's not us.